Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. I'm going to do something a little different. Usually I reviewed older magazines, but I figured I would do a magazine of a somewhat newer, because I guess this magazine is kind of old now, but it's older. But I'm reviewing Pro Wrestling Illustrated in the summer 2025, because it's got all the big, it's the big Supercars issue, where they talk about all the bigger shows that happened earlier this year. WrestleMania, AWE shows, AEW shows, I mean. So I figured let's just try that, because I don't usually do review newer magazines, but I figured, let's do one. So, of course, let's start the reviewing. So they still got these imaginary leagues, I guess. I know they've always had these in these magazines. So it's amazing that they still have them. I've never played this, never known anybody that have played it. But they said that they're just saying that the Hurricane used to play these games. So the IWA, the Imaginary Wrestling Association, I think. So these things are still around. This is from the desk of the editor Kevin McEvanley. So when I see editor, I'm used to thinking of Stu Sachs, but obviously new day and age. So, and this is him talking about all the stuff that happened in Las Vegas, all of the shows that happened during WrestleMania weekend. The table of content. They having ads. Ads so we can order them up newer issues of the magazine, where you can mail them, get them through the mail. And that's probably the best way to even get these magazines nowadays, because it's hard to find these Pro Wrestling Illustrateds on newsstands. I used to get them at a Walmart or a Safeway, and now all those ways are gone. Now I have to go to a BAM's bookstore to get them. But when I get them, they're like a month behind. So the newer issues already came out, but they haven't sold those yet. So it's hard to find these magazines. The media review, where they're reviewing Becoming a Spectacle, which was the behind the scenes of WrestleMania 9. Yeah, and I liked it, man. It's always good to see the stuff from the past and behind the scenes look at it. So, and of course they liked it too. They gave it, we give Becoming a Spectacle 4.5 out of 5 suplexes. So they rating suplexes. So, and they liked it. So I enjoyed it too. So talking trash. Here's a list of the top 10 wrestling related items you've been talking about lately, and we got our reaction to each. Okay, so number 10, WWE acquires the storied lucha promotion AAA. Number 9, Jacob Fatu captures his first singles title, which was the U.S. title. AEW Dynamite surpasses WCW Nitro's television run. Number 7, Slayer co-founder Kerry King plays Damian Priest to the ring at WrestleMania. Number 6, Sabu wrestles his retirement match. Number 5, Penn and Teller return to NXT. Number 4, The Rock utilizes some shaky logic to explain his non-appearance at WrestleMania. Number 3, TNA champion Joe Henry makes his first WrestleMania appearance. Number 2, John Cena announces his intention to ruin professional wrestling. And the number 1 talking trash moment. Top 10 related items. Paul Heyman joins forces with Seth Rollins and Braun Breaker. Those were the top 10 related items that people were talking about. This is Ringside, and they're talking about the stuff that's going on, the current stuff that was going on at that time, and there's a lot of stuff that's going on in Japan. Talking about the releases of superstars, and of course, Dakota Kai was one of them being released. Of course, talk about the sad passing of Steve McMichael. who, obviously played for the Chicago Bears, but had his involvement in pro wrestling. Yeah, he was not the greatest wrestler, but he was entertaining. I'll say that. And a lot of the people loved him. A lot of the wrestlers loved him, so they loved hanging out with him. But yeah, he was not the greatest wrestler or the greatest announcer. So, but just R.I.P. to Stephen Michael. Quick count. They're just talking about cliches for Vegas for WrestleMania, which is in Vegas. In defense of tag team wrestling, they're talking about, and this is something I think about how they got all these great tag teams, but the way they're being booked is not great, especially in SmackDown. SmackDown has all this great tag team wrestling, all these great tag teams, but the division is booked weirdly. Like, all the tag teams are together. They all don't like each other, but they all standing on one side against the Wyatts. Like, why would the Machine Guns be standing side by side with Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa after what those guys did to them? They shouldn't be hanging out or agreeing on stuff. That's just, the Street Profits should have got, they should have got a better run. Because as I'm recording this, the Street Profits actually lost the tag team titles to the Wyatts, which I like, and I like the Wyatts, but I just hate how the Street Profits have been used. That whole division has been like all these great tag teams, but they're all just, it's just ain't been booked right. Like all of them are scared of the Wyatts. I mean, come on, man. But they're talking about, and here they're talking about tag teams in general. They even talk about AEW tag teams and how the division is not booked as it should with all the talent they have. And they talk about, Lash Legend and Jakara Jackson, about the potential they had as a tag team, but then Jakara got released, so that division is not, that's another loss for the tag division. They just say that tag team wrestling of today just can't compare with the tag team wrestling of years in the past, the 80s and 90s. Back to the old school. This is about talking about a promotion, MATW. I think it's Mid-Atlantic Territory Wrestling. So I have not, because they're on YouTube. So, reading about it, I did want to just check it out, but I have not checked it out yet. So it's good to have a lot of wrestling on. So, okay, Supercards 2025, as they cover WrestleMania 41, AEW Dynasty, New Japan Windy City Riot, TNA Unbreakable, GCW Bloodsport, Stardom American Dream, MLW Battle Riot, Progress, and ECW Super 8. And of course there's Mini Belts Monet, because she has many belts. WrestleMania, I thought was a good show. Obviously the Cody John Cena match was not the best, but really what killed it was that finish. Like, if that match was, not great, but the finish was better, I think people would take the match better overall. But just that the match itself was not great, then the finish was awful. It just killed that match. But overall, I thought the show was good. I can't complain. Rhea vs. Io Sky, and I think Bianca was in there. Yeah, that was a really good match. Tiffany versus Charlotte Flair was good. Roman versus CM Punk versus Seth Rollins was the best match of the weekend for WrestleMania. Joe Henry versus Randy Orton. Now, me being a TNA guy, I'm a TNA guy, so I really can't complain about Joe Henry, going to WrestleMania and wrestling Randy Orton, even though he lost. I mean, he got some offense in. It's not like he got buried like they say. But I think that RKO after the match was a little too much, But, WWE, they're in the driver's seat. TNA, they're in the passenger seat. So they got to do what WWE tells them. So So I really can't complain. If you're a TNA fan, we just gotta take it up and take it and roll with it, man. Because that was a big deal by WWE allowing TNA to be part of the show. So, and of course, Jade versus Naomi was okay. Look, Naomi as a heel has just been great. She's awesome. I thought it probably would have been better to turn Jade heel and let Naomi be a babyface, but Naomi is such a great heel. She's having fun with it. And of course, Dirty Dawn wins the Intercontinental Championship in another, I think it was a 4-way match, which was also really good. And Jacob Fatu is he won the title at WrestleMania, but like I said, as of me recording this, he just lost the U.S. Championship to Solo Sikoa. Which I'm fine with. 'Cause I'm a big Solo fan. I mean, I'm a big Jacob Fatu fan too, but I'm a big Solo Sikoa fan. So, and of course, John Cena wins the WWE World Championship with the help of Travis Scott. Yep, not The Rock, but Travis Scott. So, yeah. Okay, 17th time is now. They're just basically they're running down all of John Cena's world title wins. And he is the man. John Cena is the man. AEW Dynasty, another good show. AEW's show, once again, always good. It's just a little too long, but always great shows. Talking about the crazy match between Swerve and Jon Moxley, which Jon Moxley retained the championship. Speedball versus Ricochet versus Kenny Omega. It's always a great match, just great moves. Will Ospreay beat Kevin Knight in another great match. Great talent. Toni Storm versus Megan Bayne. I think I love Toni Storm, but I think Megan Bayne is definitely the future. Monet, many belts. Monet. The blow by blow. Will Ospreay pinned Kevin Knight. World Tag Team Champions Bobby Lashley and Shelton Benjamin defeated Big Bill and Brian Keefe. Mercedes Moné pinned Julia Hart. World Trios Champions Claudio Castagnoli, Pac, and Wheeler Yuta beat Adam Copeland, Cash Wheeler, and Dax Hartwood. Women's World Champion Toni Storm pinned Megan Bayne. Kyle Fletcher pinned Mark Briscoe. Bandito pinned the ROH World Champion Chris Jericho to win the title. Adam Cole pinned TNT Champion Daniel Garcia to win the title. AEW International Champion Kenny Omega defeated Mike Bailey and Ricochet in a triple threat to retain. And the AEW World Champion Jon Moxley pinned Swerve Strickland to retain. RH 0 hour. I mean, not RH, but the 0 hour for the pre-show. And of course, the match, FTR turned on Edge. And like as of this recording, Edge is not back yet. But obviously he will come back. So, and Bandito, after winning the RH World Championship, Bandito is pretty awesome. I'm glad he's starting to get the shot, getting the credit he deserves, man. I mean, at least on, because he's not. I mean, I guess he's always been given credit, but I guess on the main level, he's getting that credit. So. This is Windy City Riot from New Japan. I don't follow New Japan wrestling that much, so not that it's bad. I just don't follow it. But I know Tanahashi's on his farewell tour. TNA Unbreakable. Masha Slamovich and Joe Henry victorious after they beat, I think, was it Tessa Blanchard and Frankie Kazarian, I think. And then that crazy match between Sami Callihan and Mance Warner. Yeah, that thing was all around crazy. Zachary Wentz Eric Young actually beat Zachary Lynch and JDC in a three-way, and Moose beat Sidney Akeem, which was Reggie in his WWE days. And of course, the first appearance of Chris Bay at TNA since the injury, since his being paralyzed. So that was great to see him back and being able to walk and everything. So Santana and Mustafa Ali had a great match. You know, both of these guys are talented. Glad they're with TNA. And then the main event was Steve Macklin beat AJ Francis and Eric Young to win the TNA International Championship. Steve Macklin, the very first champion. And then Bloodsport, Kevin Cross beat JR Kratos, I think. And Timothy Thatcher. No, I think Pete Dunne beat Timothy Thatcher. Layla Hirsch, I think, beat Jordan. I don't know who won between legit Layla Hirsch and Jordan Blade. Zack Sabre Jr. and John Gresham. Now I would love to see John Gresham come back to TNA. They did that guy dirty with that whole octopus gimmick. If they just let John Gresham beat John Gresham, he would have got over. So, love to see him come back to TNA. Natty beat. I'm going to mess up her name, so I'm not even going to say it, but Natty won. And Tavion Heights from NXT beat Royce Isaac. And then I think Gabe Kidd beat Josh Barnett, I'm not sure. And then some stuff from Stardom. From MLW Battle Riot, the return of Hammerstone. Once again, do not know why TNA let this guy go. They just did nothing with him. I mean, Hammerstone's he's a thoroughbred, man. You have a guy like that, you do everything to keep him happy, and don't know what went wrong with that. Matt Riddle, the world champion, will have to defend his title in the Battle Riot, which is basically like the Royal Rumble. A lot of CMLL stars there. Progress. Don't know a lot about that promotion. Paul Walter Hauser, the actor / wrestler now. The Super 8. The winner of the Super 8 was I don't know. Guess I should have read this part before coming on here, but yeah, this guy won the Super 8. If you know his name, comment below. They talk about Wale Mania. And I guess this might be the last one that they just did, was the last one. Talk about the rest of the shows that happened during WrestleMania week. A lot of the indie shows. They have a story, the way it was. They have a story on Championship Wrestling from Georgia Championship Wrestling. They just have a little write-up on, Ole Anderson booking the show and Tommy Rich being there, and the eventual takeover of Vince McMahon that pretty much put an end to it. They got ratings. Ratings for the period ending April 27th, 2025. The top 10. Number 1, WWE Undisputed Champion John Cena. Number 2, the WWE World Champion Jey Uso. Number 3, Cody Rhodes. Number 4, the AEW World Champion Jon Moxley. Number 5, the New Japan World Champion Hercule Goto. Number 6, Gunther. Number 7, the TNA World Champion Joe Henry. Number 8, the ROH World Champion Bandito. Number 9, the All Japan Triple Crown Champion Jun Saito. And number 10, the MLW World Champion Matt Riddle. Top tag teams. Number 1, the WWE World Tag Team Champions, the Street Profits. Number 2, the WWE World Tag Team Champions, the New Day. Of course, they did those guys dirty too. Just think about how they booked tag team wrestling. They screwed those guys over. Number 3, the AEW World Tag Team Champions, the Hurt Syndicate. Number 4, the CML Tag Team Champions, Los Hermanos Chavez. Number 5, the TNA World Tag Team Champions, the Nemeths. Number 6, the Women's Tag Team Champions, the Judgment Day. Number 7, the IWGP Tag Team Champions, United Empire. Number 8 is the Stardom Tag Team Champions, Wing and Gory. Number 9, the NXT Tag Team Champions, Hank and Tank. And number 10, the Hardys. So the one thing, they got all these rankings, but they got, instead of having the top 10, they have the top 5. And I guess they did that to make room for so many promotions. Yeah, I'm not a fan of the top 5 though. They need to have a top 10, but like I said, I guess it's making way for all the other promotions they got. CMLL, they just got a whole bunch of promotions. Pan African, like what is that? Drawing Blood, and they just had this where some guy draws. I guess a little comic strip, I guess. Okay, this was the review of the summer 2025 issue of Pro Wrestling Illustrated. I hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you again.